So it seems like you can't scroll past 3 posts anymore without seeing something about a VPN and why you need a VPN and you better get a VPN and here's the best VPN. There's actually a pretty good reason for that. First is that the internet actually is broken, I think. Okay, maybe not that it's broken, it was just built backwards, right? They built it for openness and not necessarily for security and privacy first. Another thing is that while VPNs aren't new at all, they're actually more important than ever. But first, a heads up, right? ExpressVPN is sponsoring this video, which is a little strange because I've actually been paying for ExpressVPN for months now. I apparently don't do this influencer thing very well at all. Anyway, it's what I use here at home, it's what my wife and kids use, so read into all that whatever you want. So let's finally do this. We're gonna jump in head first into the VPN pool, I know. We're gonna talk about why you want one, why they're so important now, and then we're gonna dive into Android Central's list of the best VPNs that are out there. It's a really good list, a whole bunch of really good choices. And we're gonna go do it all right now. Okay, describing a VPN actually is pretty easy, I think. Now, you know how us old people talk about the information superhighway? Well, it's actually not a horrible way to think of it. Your computer is cruising on down the road, it's loading web pages and videos and pictures and whatever. You get to see a lot of the internet, but at the same time, the internet gets to see a whole lot of you too. It can see what kind of car you're driving, what color it is. It can see where you're coming from. It can see where you're going to. It can maybe see who's in the car. It can even control the billboards that you see outside the car. Advertising. A VPN is very much like a private tunnel for your car. You're still flying down the information superhighway. That's the last time I do that, I promise. You're still flying down that road just as quickly as possible, only now people can't see where you're coming from, or maybe where you're going. They can't tell what kind of car you drive. Or it can actually make it look like you're coming from somewhere else. That's a really cool thing. And it's doing all this by routing all of your network traffic through a tunnel on the information, so you get the idea, right? Now I know you've done this, right? You've been in a coffee shop or an airport, you gotta get online and you connect to one of those free Wi-Fi hotspot things. Here's the deal. Any network traffic that is unencrypted on that, anyone else could just pluck it out of the air, right? All they have to do is see that it's flying by and they can see it. That's bad. So whenever you're using one of those free Wi-Fi spots, you have to use a VPN, okay? Please, 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 you have to, because it tunnels all your network traffic and then nobody else can see it. And that's basically it. It's a really oversimplified version of a VPN, but that's what it does. What it is not is a cloak of invisibility that will let you run amok online and avoid the law. They'll find you. But a VPN can keep you more private and it can keep you more secure. So if you probably noticed, because I've said it a couple times already, VPNs are all about privacy and they're all about security. Those are two sides of the same coin. There's actually a third side. Coins don't have third sides, but you get the idea. And that's complexity, right? As you add privacy, as you add security, you lose convenience. Now the good news is consumer grade VPNs have gotten a lot better in that regard over the past couple of years. Something like, say, ExpressVPN, a lot more user-friendly, thanks to the big button. I love big buttons, right? Super simple. Once everything's set up, and that just takes a couple minutes, you push the button and your VPN's turned on. So once you hit the button, what actually happens? Well, think of it like this, okay? Your computer at home, it's been given an IP address from your internet service provider, whether it's Comcast or Cox or AT&T, whomever, right? My IP address is, say, 111.222.333. That's not it. Don't come looking for me. But when you turn on the VPN, suddenly it becomes 333.444.555.666, whatever, right? And along with that, the VPN can make it look like you're coming from some other place. So instead of me being here in Florida, I can make it look like I'm coming from Seattle or the UK or Germany or wherever. That's where it starts to get a little interesting, right? If you've ever traveled overseas, you've seen this, right? I'm in Berlin, I'm getting Berlin results for things. Same thing with a VPN, right? If I'm using a German server on the VPN, websites will say, oh, it looks like you're in Germany. So let's send you some German stuff, including ads and whatever else. So that's something you gotta look out for a little bit. Or you can use a server that's closer to where you are if you wanna make sure you get the best speed possible. Totally up to you, a lot of options here. This also is how you can work around regional restrictions. My kid very quickly, and I didn't tell her this, figured out I can use a VPN to watch UK Netflix, which she can't get here because I'm not in the UK. Kids, they're smarter than we are. And yeah, okay, that's very much a gray area, right? There are lots of reasons to hide your location or say you're somewhere you're not. Just don't be doing anything illegal, okay? So by now you probably thought to yourself, Phil, Instead of giving all of my internet traffic to my ISP, I'm now giving it to somebody else. And I have to be able to trust that somebody else. And I say, yeah, that's exactly how this works, right? You have to be able to trust this VPN provider. That is, in fact, the big catch here, and it's actually why I kind of ignore any VPN deal that just sounds too good to be true, okay? This is one of those things I want to actually pay money for, and I want to know what I'm getting. And I'm going to do a lot of homework, right? Go read the blogs of all these companies that you're thinking about handing your money and your information over to. It's a really, really big deal. Read more reviews, watch more videos. You can't do enough homework. So which VPN is the best in air quotes? Well, this is one of those times where I'm gonna say I don't have an answer for you specifically, because your needs might well be different than mine, right? I might just want a VPN to connect to a free Wi-Fi spot, you know, or make sure my kids are using them even more specifically to make sure their information is safe, right? But say you're a journalist or you're dealing with just sensitive information and you need something a little more robust, you know, so one company might work well for me, different one might work even better for you. So with that, here are some really good options from the list at Android Central. I know those guys, I love those guys, I used to be one of those guys. Here we go. First on their list is ExpressVPN. Now again, ExpressVPN is sponsoring this video, but I've also been using ExpressVPN myself for months. I've been paying my own money to use it. And here's why. It's super simple, right? First, it's secure, it's private, it's all that stuff. That's super important, that's the most important thing. But for me, the second most important thing is making sure it's a VPN that's easy to use. Because if it's not easy to use, my wife and kids aren't gonna use it, and then what's the point of me paying anything for it, right? They've got great apps, iOS, Android, computers, you know, whatever you have. So whenever my wife or kids are out there doing their thing and they need to connect anywhere, I tell them just hit the big button and turn your VPN on, and please let me know that you're safe. So I've been paying a little more than $8 a month for up to 5 devices on ExpressVPN. I tell you, that pretty much covers myself and anyone else who's just out and about and on the go. Android Central also has 5 other VPNs on their list that you absolutely should check out, and they're probably names you've already heard, right? There's NordVPN and Surfshark and TunnelBear and Hotspot Shield and Private Internet Access, also known as PIA. Each one is very good in its own right, and like Express, they're all pretty affordable too. And that's important because I don't want you to hate your VPN. I don't want you to turn it on and say, how much am I paying for this? It's the sort of thing you have to get in the habit of using. You have to want to use it. So find one that you like, find one that's affordable. Any of these will be really, really good choices for you. So that's it for ExpressVPN and all the others. I know we just went through a whole lot of stuff. Hopefully you got the basics down, right? It's really important to keep your stuff private when you're out and about, and especially, I can't say this enough, if you're on a free Wi-Fi hotspot. Use a VPN, pay for a VPN, make sure your stuff is private with the VPN. Go check out ExpressVPN and all the others. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments. Go find me on the socials. That's it. See you next time.